Hello everyone, welcome to the Planning, Development and Licensing Committee. We are here this evening to discuss a total of 8 applications, no licensing applications, also a few points prior to that. We're going to go first to public speaking, where Mr. Councillor Giuseppe Raschini is here. So would you like to take the mic?
I mean, I can wait till you get to the relevant point if you like. So it's not a relevant gender item, and I can speak then if you can.
That's fine. So how about we go through apologies, declaration of interest, minutes, forward plan, and we come to the country park, and then we'll get you to talk then, and then yeah, we'll bounce from there. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay. So the first item tonight is receive apologies for absences and approved reasons given. What people have we got?
Apologies for Councillor 2's and
Perfect. That's absolutely fine. Oh no, probably not. Declarations of interest is the next item. So members to declare any interest, including any interest across the board that may come out. Anybody who has interest. Okay. Perfect. The next item is the minutes. To approve and sign the correct record of minutes of the previous planning committee held on the 22nd of May. Has anybody got any comments on these minutes? Councillor Tully?
Sorry.
Oh, you're happy with them. Okay. Could I get a proposal then to support? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Froman, can we go to the vote, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. It's just dreadful. Next item is a forward plan. Members to note the planning, development and licensing forwarding plan. Has everybody had a chance to have a look at this? Are we happy with it? Okay, so could I get a proposal to support? Councillor Stainforth, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. And yeah, didn't take too long to get to that point. The next item is crossing point request, Yarland Hill, Tudor Park. Members to discuss the feasibility study provided and to agree to the next steps in relation to supporting or not Westmoreland Parish Council in the initial stages. Appendix A, MN 004296 is Yarland Hill, feasible technical note point. Councillor Fraschini now. Have a word.
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, I'm here to speak basically in support of the proposals, just to give you a bit of background regarding this. So I'm supportive of both, but primarily I'm here for Tudor Park. That falls within the major ward. I've been working with Amy, the parish clerk at West Monkton, for a good number of time now regarding sort of a wider plan for the area. There's obviously there's the country park, and then in Tudor Park there is a piece of land that was designated for sporting use when the development was built 25 years ago, and it's never come to being at the moment. So we're trying to get that off the ground. So this kind of forms the wider project of it all, because West Monkton were in the process of doing a feasibility study for Yarland Hill. And during a discussion I had with Amy, I said, well, we need to do something about the crossing for the country park into Tudor Park, because it's obviously a death trap right now with kids trying to get to school and people trying to get across the road. It's take your lives into your own hand. So she said, OK, let me have a look and see how much extra it would cost. And it was only extra a couple of £100 to do both studies as they're in the area. So they went ahead and did the feasibility study. So I have pledged, if this gets the go ahead and we can get this going, my 2 years worth of my members initiative scheme, which is just over £8,000 towards the cost of the project. This has been a major running issue within Maidenbrook for a very, very long time. As I said, safety concerns regarding children crossing to school and just generally trying to cross the road. Again, forms what the wider project of trying to find and house parking for the country park at some point, as well as prospective sports field. So this is all forming a plan around making it all come together, basically. How it's going to be funded, I think that's probably in the next step. Obviously, my £8.5 ain't going to cut it. As you can see, the proposed costs. I don't think option C will be. It's feasible to do absolutely, effectively widen it and do very little to it. It needs a proper crossing where drivers have visibility of the crossing, and that will then improve safety. So West Monkton might have some money themselves, but obviously they'll be looking for help as well, and they may approach Taunton Town Council see if in one day in the future to see if they would like to support it as well. So that's really why I'm here, just to be here basically to say that I'm fully behind this, and I hope you can support it too. And that's me, really.
Thank you very much. That's really, really helpful, actually. Just a underline of what's going on. It's interesting to know, the effect of both of the areas, Young Hill and Shooting Park. So yeah, it's helpful. Thank you. We've also had Councillor Deacon written in as well, just showing us that you'd like to show support for this this item, which has been great to read, and he's kind of highlighted similar things that you said as well, which is great. So thank you. Is there any comments in the room? Councillor Staple and Councillor Belvedere. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just like to say thank you to Councillor Fustini for coming in to speak. Fully support this. I mean, I think we're trying to encourage people to use parks more often. We want more sports facilities and things, but then we don't want to have it safe to access. It's a no-brainer. We need safe access. We need safe road crossings. So I think we should do everything we can to support it.
Thank you. Councillor Dolly.
Sorry, I should have also declared an interest as a member of West Monkton Parish Council. I suppose that's a help. Should be. The Yellow Hill one, I've got no doubts whatsoever about. That's as far as I'm concerned. It's the one opposite Tudor Park. Now, I tried to do this over 10 years ago and was told by a county at the time, because of the bend as it goes round, they didn't feel it was safe. I agree. They've got lights there now to slow traffic down, showing I think it's 20. I think it says 20, I can't remember, I think it says 20. As far as I'm concerned, that needs a proper crossing with lights. The youngsters come from different areas of Prizewood to go to Monkton Wood School, and that's where they cross. We were hoping on West Monkton that they would go through the park, but they still cross the road there because the cycle track is on, there's the cycle track on the other side. And I think we should back it 100% and tell the county to get their finger out. To be honest, it needs doing. It needs doing. And it needs doing 5 years ago, not now. It needs doing this and that. Thank you.
So I'll just come at you, Councillor. So on both the items. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the Yarn Hill. Prior to driving through that mostly every single day, I totally agree that this needs to be done. I think it's more of a priority straight away, and I think a good use of funds to improve this highway will improve people who are residents, but also even people who want to come into West Monkton, who also come into Taunton. It's just a better way of linking the whole town on our side. The next point I'd like to raise is the next item, which is the Tudor Park. Having also driven past there, I think personally how important the country park is and linked to the the memorial area. I think in the future that's going to be a really hot spot for people to come from Taunton and not rely on vehicles, not rely and that even if they're walking, cycling, scootering, anything. I think that link up to even into the hills, into the countryside from the town living, I think is really important. So through both of the last two councillors who've spoken, also with Councillor Fustini and Councillor Deacon, that this needs to be done and backed. Councillor Thurman.
Thank you. Yes, with the with the residents from Tudor Park, it is possible they can take the path of going along the road that then leads to the traffic lights. If they do want to, then head towards the Yardlands Hill, which if there was crossing there, they could also easily cross. But obviously, it's a lot better if they could cross directly in that path, so they can go directly into the park. So I think we could probably. I think it's probably worth backing the Tudor Park crossing.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Councillor Toad?
The Tudor Park crossing, I know is used. I've got a grandson who is a right pain and goes to Monkton Wood. He will cross. He doesn't want to go up the park because the park's got rough surfaces, so he doesn't want to damage his bike. So he crosses there basically to get to the proper track and can go that way. And a lot of kids from Priors would actually do the same. So, I think we've got to back it. It's a no trainer.
I agree. Councillor Stapleton?
Just backing up Councillor Troy there. And one of the issues with expecting people to go along a track a little bit further is people naturally take the shortest route, especially children. And if it's something that involves children in school to go to the park, they want what 10 metres to crossing. They want the shortest route, and that's why we're really doing those crossings in place.
The only thing I would like to add is obviously the position of if we were to look at Tudor Park, so your war memorial is on the right hand side, and obviously you say the crossing is on the front. You've got the lane up on the right hand side. Obviously, position wise, I guess they've obviously done some detailing on how far that can be back from that junction up that lane, because that would be my only slight worry is just how close that crossing is to the lane for people to just come around the corner and not see if anybody's crossing. But yet again, I think it makes sense. I think it really just link up everything together. And like I said, from everybody else, I definitely didn't back this. Is there any more comments in this room? Yeah. So can't get in field to support this application on all fronts from Taunton Town Council. Could I get a proposal to support them, please? Councillor Tully, could I get a second there? Councillor Stainfort, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ross.
No worries. Thank you. You sure you don't want to stay for long?
Come on, just say. Come on, where's the support?
Planning's where it's at, mate.
Thanks.
You've got nothing better to do, I'm sure.
You'll be out in half an hour anyway.
You guys, the next item. Councillor Lester's right, so you can have that in this one. Yeah. To comment on planning applications received on the planning local authority. On planning applications. So first item is 6.1, which is 38-25-0156, which is full planning permission. Application to determine if prior approval is required for the erection of the proposed single-storey extension to the rear of 38 Henley Road, Taunton. Okay. It would be great if you like. Right.
Yes.
So if we have a look at existing and proposed ground floor and roof plan. So second one from the bottom. Sorry. Doesn't matter. That's fine. Just have a look at all five of them. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
We have not done.
No worries, it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, when you think of what we were chatting about on those crossings, Does that make sense? Those risky crossing, they really are.
It should have been done a long time ago.
The increase in
Especially with the infrastructure that's gone in place across from there to Taunton over the last 30 years. I can't believe it's not been so.
and it's the increase in the number of people living in that area.
Just the volume, yeah.
The sheer volume of traffic and pedestrians.
You know that, because, you know, they've done a massive road infrastructure where, you know, that massive junction, you go left into Westmont. I'm surprised even there wasn't even just, you know.
A discussion of why don't we upgrade left hand, right hand.
Yeah, we have a look through all 5 of those. Love it when proposing existing.
Road.
Oh.
Yeah, I see.
One, one.
There's somebody.
Always when you have to come back.
I won't tell him that.
Tim Robson's fine.
That's looking good. If we go on to, so that's existing, cool. If we have one to have a look. Look at the 2 above that then, both the elevation. Nice. Look at the elevation.
The neighbours. It's single story.
So the north, west and south elevation.
Yeah.
If you have a look at-
Henley Road's got big gardens. It's big gardens, big houses.
But they've also the
It won't.
then in line, the neighbouring property.
Yeah, oh, so it's already deeper on the other, on the next
Yeah.
door, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're perfectly
I'm
aligned.
trying to think which, is it, which,
If you
is
look,
it short Henley Road or long Henley Road? Which one? Which one's it on? Is it the Wellington Road side or is it the Fosbrook side of Henley Road? Trying to think of numbers.
It's coming out.
Oh, the dog.
Building out to them, got a, like an extra room with some, you know, sky glass. And it looks like a bit of a pergola at the back or so some sort of frame.
down to the road end, Parkfield.
Can't see the issues with this at all.
Is it a dream?
Oh, I thought you said Henley.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah,
Hold on. Which one?
can't see the issues with it.
Is this the Henley Road on the Parkfield Road one? Sorry, we're looking at the wrong plan.
Oh, this, I did the same one, sorry.
Because they've been,
Did the same thing earlier. So they back onto one another. So there is a separate one for Henley Road,
All right.
which has got a separate planning, but the one that we're currently looking at with this reference number is 78 Parkfield.
it's Parkfield.
Parkfield Road, right, okay.
Yeah, looking at that, I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see the issues with this.
Nothing.
Can't see that.
Yeah, had a look at it. The extension itself is not really any deeper, much deeper than the conservatory that's there just now. But actually, the extension will put it in line with the neighbour's house. So the neighbour's house already actually is further than the conservatory, so it brings it in line. It's single story. It's not overlooking. I think it's perfect for the area.
Agree. Don't see any issues with this. To support this application, could we get a proposal, councillor Leicester, could we get a second? Councillor Stainford, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried, thank you very much. You practice like, you know, when you go to like a cattle market and they're like.
That's what we want to do.
The next item is 6.2, which is 38-25-0065, which is for planning permission. Erection of a double canopy for click and collect parking at Tesco's Castle Street, Taunton. We'll have a look at this, but it seems great. Okay, let's have a look at the existing site plan. Look at proposed canopy detail. Perfect. Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Looking for it.
Well, and then let's have a look at what the proposed idea is and everything. Oh, that's cool. Also, it's gonna look similar to like the car wash.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of makes sense because I have been in the rain and got wet. Those are my boots.
Well, heaven forbid.
Shall I show an interest?
Yeah, I think you've got a conflict there.
Yeah, I was doing concerns.
Yeah.
Not just in the rain, in the sunshine.
Um,
It's good, especially for people who are working and unloading.
Yeah, I don't see any issues with this.
No, that's all.
No,
No.
No problems at all. Okay, so to support that application, can I get a proposal, please? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote, please? Carried, thank you very much. Next item is 6.3, which is 38-25-0189, which is full planning permission, replacement of a conservatory with the erection of a single story extension to the rear with replacement and enlargement porch to the front of 28 Hoveland Lane.
Yep.
Okay, so if we were to have a look at, I'm going to say the second one at the bottom and the third one from the bottom. That'd be great. You got any thoughts on this so far? Should we have a look at the elevations? Just see elevations at the moment.
so again,
Richardson.
things that in line with.
Belvedere, and replacement of the porch. Okay, so that's cool. The next one. So yeah, again, pulling down the conservatory. And an improvement on the porch looking a lot more attractive. Councillor Stainford.
Once again, the extension actually will be level with the neighbouring property. So there's no chance of volcano or anything like that. Completely suitable, and the front porch looks nice.
It's kind of a strange thing, replacement and a change to a porch a lot of the time, because obviously this is a cosmetic change. If there's a porch there anyway,
Yeah, I don't know why they have to ask, to be honest.
look on the existing. So the existing's there.
Yeah, it's not any bigger,
No,
but it doesn't match the,
it's not, it's changed from a flat roof to a pitched roof, I think, isn't it?
and I think
Exactly.
It just makes it more permanent,
and
less
it's
likely to
also
leak.
the same type of materials. that
Okay. Was the other one just a
I've got seen,
glass,
this
plastic?
may be glass. or-
Yeah. Can't think where this one is either.
Yeah, we'll look at the
Oh,
proposal.
since I saw my dog pass that lane. It's on the left hand
People
side
are-
as you drive down, isn't it? It's on the,
Don't forget your mic.
oh, sorry. No, I'm just chatting. No need to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Hmm.
A lot better than the existing.
Mm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Haven't got any problems. So to support this application, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Stainford, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. Next item is 6.4, which is 38-25-0187-LB, which is list of building consent works, various alterations to the external shop front at 1 4th Street, Taunton. Okay, whereabouts is 4th Street? That's really. Yeah,
It's on the corner that goes up to St Paul's,
oh, yeah, I did one.
Full Street, sorry.
Yeah, am I right in saying that that's where there used to be a donut?
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
Always remember a donut place, eh?
I remember this now. Okay, if we have a look at the bottom two, so if we go to the bottom one first, then second from bottom after that.
Keep going.
We'll catch staple.
Let you take the opinion.
Catch the corner.
Yeah, I had a look at this and I didn't sort of see any problem with it. So the outside, they're just kind of rebranding it, to make it look more modern. And then I saw on the inside, they're kind of revamping their layout to be more open plan. They've got a couple of caches in there still, for people who do want to do that, but it's mostly like, seating areas, genus bars and small cut-off offices.
That's cool. And if we have a look on the proposed picture, next for that, Councillor Berman. Thank you. Yeah, there's not really much change at all, is it?
Nothing.
Don't see a door.
Nothing.
The only items that there have been, if you have a look on the top left corner, you see where the pillars go up and down. They've got some decorative kind of thing. It looks like on existing, I thought there was like two either side. I just gone crazy. That's the proposed. It's on the existing. Okay. Crazy. Yeah. Any problems there?
Nothing.
No.
No, it's nothing.
I feel like we can support this application. Can I get a proposal, please? Councillor Tully. And seconder, Councillor Lester. Can we go to the vote, please? Gary, thank you very much. The next item is 6.5, which is 38-25-0188-LB, which is listed building consent works, refurbishment and various alteration works to internal spaces and external shop front at number 1 4th Street, Taunton. What's this?
Please.
Oh,
I think I'm all right with this.
um,
Didn't know it was listed.
so speaking on
Okay.
what Councillor Furman's points were, what they're actually doing in the changes is for the best really layout to come up to scratch with today's kind of layout, what most shops do, isn't it? Is there any items you'd like to look up on the list just for clarity? No? You happy with this application? Okay. So to support this application, do I get a proposer? Councillor Furman, could I get a seconder, please? The same for, can we go to vote, please? It's carried, thank you very much. The next item is 6.6, which is 38-25-0198-CMA, which is the Class MA notification. Application to determine if prior approval is required for the change of use and conversion from commercial business and service use Class E into a number 1 dwelling, C3 at 4 Billetfield.
Did I do this last week?
Just going to make it, it's only a very small point and it doesn't amount to an interest for anybody, but the agent who submitted the plans is Tim Burton, who did you training. I don't know if anybody in this room attended when the training went on. It was before I started or just after I started, I think. But just for awareness, he is the agent who submitted these plans.
Oh, okay. If we, so really,
Where is he then?
I was struggling with it, so let's see what.
Chair, I have no idea where this one is.
Councillor Furman.
It's on the corner as you go into the house.
Yeah.
It's like two small houses, sort of opposite the CLC.
Can we get it on Google Maps?
Yeah. So I think this is on, yeah, as you turn into the maps on the left hand side, isn't it? I'm sure we looked at this at the last meeting.
Is this on the top?
It's opposite, kick.
Oh, it's that, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
4 Billetfield.
sorry.
So
There's also an application for the one next to it.
That's right.
Oh, maybe that was last time.
No, no, where is it?
I honestly am getting deja vu about this one.
so which is it? Is
It's on the corner.
it on the corner
Must be that one.
Hang on.
on the moon?
That's where I'm.
What is it just now?
It's offices, I think. But I think this is or I don't put it in that Deane, I'm not sure. So it looks like a house. To all intents and purposes, I never thought it wasn't a house until someone said it wasn't a house.
Oh, it's one of those buildings that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, one. It's behind you, just.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Stone.
it's that one.
Yeah, it's that red one, isn't it?
Yeah. Your next application is one next door.
Looks like a house.
Yeah, okay.
A normal house.
So that's fine.
No, that's it.
So on this application in itself, so if we go back to the application, because all we're discussing is the license change from commercial business and service use into a one dwelling. Okay, so it's 38-25-0198 CMA.
Which
I think,
parking area was?
yeah, parking area, I think.
Not a lot of information.
That's the only thing I would say, there's not really deep much
The
added.
house is in there. Yeah.
Okay, this is actually, yeah.
That proposed floor plan.
One direct.
Is there no parking behind it?
Yeah, that's parking behind, 'cause that's what's in it. That was my question, actually.
So I guess what they're doing, so currently it's a business property, and they're turning it into a house.
Back into house.
Back into a house, I would have guessed.
It was,
Yeah,
that's previously.
yeah.
Good. Councillor Staple.
Two things. One, I would support it going back into house. It's going back into one single dwelling, which quite often these buildings would be taken and split up into multiple apartments. And fully support that one into a single dwelling. The only thing would be just to check the parking, because it says parking in that plan. Is the parking with the house? Are they going to keep the parking with the house? Because around there isn't any on-street parking. Have to go over to the multi-stories, so it's questionable whether it's got adequate parking, just be what I want to check.
Yeah, so just looking on Google Maps at the moment, right behind the property there is private parking. So if we
In the plan.
have a look, bring that up there. And obviously we'll have a look at the parking plan now, but that's currently parking that's behind the two properties.
Is that going to be for the house? Is there going to be parking for the house there?
Yeah, okay, so if we have a look at the parking plan now.
There's the title
Title.
document
Yeah.
that shows
Yeah, that'd be interesting to read then.
the property and
Yeah, if we have a look at the title plan, please. Okay, so, isn't it? Okay,
include that.
so it includes the parking.
who does?
Yeah.
And on the parking plan, sorry to be a pain, so that's the title plan.
Yeah.
If we have a look at the parking plan, so if we go back to the one we were just on, sorry to be a pain, parking area, sorry. We go down.
Is it on there somewhere? Is it at the top or?
Parking area, there you go, the red, the compass area, and Saxon House. They're saying that's 13 meters by 10, so.
Split between the two?
Yeah, because there must be
Yeah. Right,
access
right,
across.
right.
The next one linking two properties, the other in the way.
Well,
Well,
to get
just-
to the other house, it's
It's on the driveway, won't it? You'll have to give.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay, I haven't got any problems with this at all. Okay, so to support this application, can I get a proposal?
Yeah.
Councillor Lester, can we go to the second? Councillor Staple, can we go to the vote? That's carried, thank you. The next item is not too far away, is 6.7, 38
I reckon I'm all right with this one as well.
-0197 CMA, which is class MA notification. Application to determine if prior approval is required for a change in use and conversion from commercial business and service use class E into a one dwelling C3 at Compass House, 6 Billetfield, Taunton. Okay, so we'll just have a look again. So floor plan with scale bar would be helpful. So there's the parking area again.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much splitting the house down the
So
middle.
that's a better picture.
That's,
That
that's
shows it
great,
much
that
better,
actually
yeah.
is
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah,
It makes it much clearer.
They've got rear access, external, straight into the property.
yeah.
So that shows you how they.
What's the sizes looking like in the rooms?
They're standard. No, they're fine. They're standard, 4x4 reception rooms by the look of it. Same with the bedroom. There's two beds in a box. So that the box room, it's not a box room, actually. That's quite a large bedroom, 2.4 by
Those
4.
are fairly big old
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah, they're not small.
And it doesn't look like they're changing any of the original walls.
Although having said that, I think that the bedroom floor is dimensioned wrong, looking at that now. Because the back room, it says it's 3.6 by 3.1, and then the front room, which is infinitely smaller, is 3.9 by 2.4. That doesn't look like it's labelled right.
Right,
But
2.4, do you see?
360
No,
meters.
it's long, it's a long one.
it's long. Oh, okay, maybe it's my eyes.
Actually, it's 350 meters.
Where are you looking?
No, it's 3 point,
Oh, yes, you're
Nine.
right. The bedroom 3 says it's 360 meters wrong, which is definitely wrong. They've missed a decimal point there somewhere.
3.9. No, it's correct because bedroom, bedroom 3
Yeah,
is 3.9
but
in depth
no,
which
3.6
means-
by 3.1 bedroom.
No, no.
Oh, 1, sorry,
behind.
sorry.
Bedroom 3 and bedroom 4.
Yeah,
Same
sure.
Who
height.
wants to talk? Everybody, who wants to talk? Just,
Fine.
no, but it needs to be on the mics, so then.
Okay,
Yeah, no one needs to hear us arguing over room size.
No,
if you look at the diagrams, bedroom 3 and bedroom
Yeah,
2 are both the same depth.
You're
They're
right.
3.9.
Mhm.
And then obviously bedroom 4 is the smallest of the rooms by 2.4, just 2.4 meters wide.
Mm.
Whereas the back bedroom isn't as deep, it's 3.6
Yeah.
and 3.1. So no, that's
Okay,
just you.
no, it isn't, yeah, fine.
I can't see.
Glasses on. Looking at that.
wheelchair.
I can't see if.
Reject the other. It doesn't make
No,
sense.
no, they
All
look,
good.
yeah, they're all good.
The only thing I did spot was that in that bedroom, 3 that says 360 meters, but
Yeah, obviously that's.
Yeah.
Tyler.
That's the entrance to Narnia.
Yeah, you're right. There's a wardrobe. I'm one of the problems with it, so sport could I get a proposal? Leicester could I get a second of councillor Tully?
Right, you know.
Vote, please. And that's carried. Thank you very much. The next item is 6.8, which is 38-25-0191, which is removal variation of conditions. Variation of conditions number 2, approved plans. Condition number 5, agricultural method statement. Condition of number 6, landscape schedule. Condition number 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, biodiversity and ecology. And condition of number 26, surface water, and application 08 22 0017 at Neville's Farm, Batch Drive, Shedenford, Maine.
Easy for you, see.
I'll do some changes.
Is there any first comments before we start looking at some documents? Councillor Bowman.
Just to say, what are the variations?
Mm.
What were the originals?
Broadcasting.
Thanks to you. And I had a look at the application earlier and it's, yeah, they're proposing a lot of changes, but what was the original and what were the changes to the original plans? It looks like there's just a flood of, I'm not using that for areas of flooding, but they seem to be putting in lots of changes without much detail.
So we look at it. So removal of variation conditions. Variation condition number 2, approved plans. Condition number 5 of arboricultural method statement. Condition of number 6 with landscape schedule. Condition 10 to 21 biodiversity and ecology. And condition 26 surface water. So there's quite a few changes across the board in different items, isn't there? So let's have a look over a So if we can go up. Go for it, Constable.
At the bottom, they've actually got the drainage. That'd be my first sort of concern is you've got the revised drainage layout.
Let's have a look at that.
Why are they changing the drainage layout? What was the original? Why have they changed it? And what are they then put in place? Interesting.
Okay, so. Doing all of this to make sure that the drainage works correctly for these houses. Obviously, they're trying to get the layout for the whole block to work correctly, but obviously there's regulations on how houses are formed with the drainage fall from the roads and also rainwater and stuff like that. So they've probably, on putting now the layout for the houses, on doing checks on the land, they've probably either hit a certain substrate, but the drains have to be adjusted to go in a different way, perhaps. Okay, if we go back again, please. If we have a look at the top of the set. Allocations turf. So we can have a look at water shadow habitat regulation assessment, looking at second one from the top, I think there's third one from the top, sorry. Just trying to get an understanding on, oh, yeah, good.
Thank you, Chair. So there was an original planning application, which you can see is a different reference, but it does have the full document of what the conditions are, that they are.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to have a look at that. As well, just to get an idea of what it is that they're trying to get variations on.
I think it might be a good shout. Oh, yeah, go for it. That's stable. Cool.
Yeah, quick question. When a developer on this sort of scale makes proposed changes, have those changes been recommendations from like so the LLFE, or is it their own when they start doing building works, what foundation works that they realise then you have to change drainage? Is it the question is what has triggered these changes?
Yeah.
And why is there no clarification as to why changes have to be made?
Yeah, it is true. Like you say, on the drainage side of things, and maybe feel that they're showing what they're doing, but there doesn't seem to be much detail why there's a need for those changes.
And show these houses, elevations.
Fun.
Has it got something to do with Allenbrook? Allenbrook's floods quite a lot. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, keep it away from the brook.
But going back to the council Steenford's point, that really should have been assigned, wasn't it? Surely when they first application went in. Like I say, though,
What's the representation back in 2023?
So this is the original planning decision, which outlines what those conditions are.
would you like me to read out the condition? Okay.
Yeah, so that one is condition number 2 that they've applied for a variation on.
These were all the problems highlighted before
Pretty much.
back in 2023.
So what was our view on this? Anyway, if we go back, because say there was comments from us. So obviously if there's been variation, if there's one cast from it.
I think it might be best if we give a neutral response, as we don't have all the sort of context as to why these changes have been made.
Yeah, I agree. That's stable.
Yeah, Chair, I would want them to ensure that all like list and everything that all the changes being made are aligned with planning requirements. So obviously they've been asked to revise quite a number of things.
Yeah.
And for us to actually be able to say, you know, okay,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of needs to be chosen as a change. Doing this because of this issue, doing this to this property because of this issue. They're changing landscape schedule because of this issue. It doesn't, you know, yes, it's great they've given us documents to show what they want to do, but why? That would be
and where's the proof that it's
exactly. Absolutely, that's it.
Yeah, I think that the way in which the application's been made just makes me maybe a hangover from our common discussion around orchard growth, but it makes me suspicious that if they want it, it doesn't clarify why they're making the change. And I always feel like when you read things like this, which are light on detail and heavy on references, that they're trying to sneak something through. I'm naturally suspicious of things like this, and I think
Yes,
that
I
we just
don't.
need to identify. We want more information, as you said. We want to see it before and after. So the cause and the effect. Is it just that they're trying? You know, they could be just trying to cut corners for all we know.
Thank you. So I did start having a look at this one earlier. I didn't get to the end of it, but the initial report that they gave, so the conditional approval that they gave on first one, which is number 2, the reason that they've given was that they've requested these documents for the avoidance of doubt in the interest of proper planning. So they have on their more recent application now provided the floor plans and the layouts for all properties.
So it's more detail.
okay.
Yeah, so I have gone through them all just to check the things that I know are generally important around space, parking provision, and they're all generous actually. Very generous in places, and there's parking provision for at least 2 vehicles for every single plot, which was good to see. I didn't get any further than that because it was such a large document, but I think that reading through the original document might be helpful for members to form more of an opinion about whether or not they've met the criteria that was originally asked.
Councillor Staple.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to have clarification on what we were asked previously, mentioning that they have revised all those. But one that I would like more information on is flood lists. Suds, what changes were asked for and what have been implemented. Because we know that's one of the biggest risks in any of the areas around Taunton. This flood list is a problem. And, you know, I'd like to see if this is going to the LLFE, will it go back to the LLFE once they put in their new proposals? Do they check it again, or is it just assumed that the new proposals they put in are acceptable? But I'm not for the local flood authority, so I certainly wouldn't want to say what I think is improved or not.
So what we could, I think, really have with just getting a feel from the room, and your comments are really, really helpful. I still think, like you said, it's like more without us, you know, linking to actually understanding what, you know, if I had it in front of me, you know, as, you know, having not known anything about their application before, and I looked at their, you know, their changes that they put in place at Batch Drive, Chenford's Bay, have they actually explained in the actual documents that we're looking at 38-25-0191 detail why they've made those variations? I don't think they've really listed that in depth.
No, I agree.
I think they've shown variations, which is great, if that is the link to prior applications or past applications, but actually a reason why they've been done. You know, I'm looking at this application right now. I couldn't really say yes or no. Those variations are perfect. The removal variations, the different landscapes schedule, the surface water, any of those. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's the one.
I wouldn't be able to put my hand on and go, yeah, you've ticked it all off. So I think really to comment on this application, not to support or object it, but I think to comment on it, and really, I think possibly, maybe other reason I think in would be I'd say lack of explanation.
Yeah.
That'd be the right word, lack of explanation for us to approve
Yeah.
or object the variations. Okay,
That's always like context. Is
Yeah.
effectively they're saying they were told that they needed to implement various things. They're asking for variations to the things they were told they should implement. So that suggests to me is they can't or won't do the things they were asked to do. So it should be reported back in terms of we can't do this because we're doing this. We want to do this instead. Whereas actually at the moment it just sounds again. I'm perhaps it's just my past experience makes me suspicious.
That's okay. Yeah, I personally just going back. I think if we show another reason, which is number 10, is that cool? And I think lack of explanation. And would you like to recap again?
No, just that I think there's a lack of context of why they need to vary from the original requirements placed upon. I think it's as simple as that.
And get comfortable with just 10 other reasons, please explain.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
If Ollie needing more clarification on that, kind of push in the right way, but I wouldn't want to put a single thing on these excluding other reasons, please explain, because at the end of the day, the design and appearance, the overlooking, the layout, the inadequate parking, or the noise of the flood risk, they may have covered all that, but there's not enough explanation.
Yeah, but I think going back to the Bryony's point about the fact that actually they've just provided more detail within this update, then say that. At the moment, it sounds like they requested to do something different from what they originally mandated. So why? It's as simple as that.
So that would be an objection if we pick from that list that you're saying. We wanting to object.
Comment zone, yeah,
Comment zone.
I think it's the right thing.
Thank you.
Is everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Okay, so could I get a proposer to lay those comments? Councillor Furman, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote, please? Carried, thank you very much. So next item number 7, submission, comments, feedback on behalf of the town council to notifications of planning applications within the area. As per 10.1.8 of the council's term reference scheme delegation, provides delegation authority to submit comments and feedback on behalf of the town council to notifications of the planning application in the area when required, and in the occasion where there is an inability of the planning committee to meet with the required deadlines, which is 21 days from the notification. There was nothing on this list that came to be highlighted. So Councillor Furman.
One I did find interesting was 3825-0164-T, which is about felling a horse chestnut tree at 7 Medway Close. It is the 4th one from the bottom.
Yeah, I've seen it says it's not full felling, it's reducing height. It says.
Application to fell.
Ah, no, see, there's another one actually.
Oh, is there? Sorry. Is there?
Oh, it's fine, yeah.
Oh no, you said 74, not 64. Or I misheard you. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one.
So application to fell 1 horse chestnut tree included in Taunton, Deane Borough. Taunton 1 tree preservation order.
Does have a TPO on it. It looks like it appears to have been supported, but do we know why they were wanting to remove the tree? Because there's a TPO on it, so I'm assuming the only thing it could be then is if it's a safety hazard or it's got disease.
But as you can see from the map, it looks like it's right in the back of someone's, another person's house. So I'm guessing for them, if it does tip over at some point, that's going to cause major damage. But I just kind of wanted to look at the if there are any documents within the application.
It's actually bigger than the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we see the
It's actually
street
a
view?
street
The
view.
roots for that will
Oh,
be
one under.
It's underneath.
bigger under the extension.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That
I
thing.
think I'd be a bit worried about that.
it was there when they moved in.
Well, the conservative's going, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get this application up. Let me read it out.
I actually think it's the houses behind it that are more risk than the houses of the garden, to be honest. I think they're closer.
That's-
38
I think it's.
dash 25
Looks like it's in.
dash 0164 dash T.
They're good at conference.
Have a look at
And there's plenty of representation there for cases everything.
comments.
We've cut it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, just.
yeah, if we go through
Oh,
comments, that'd be
that-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Let's start from the top, from the bottom. Preservation, this is great news for me, because I live behind the tree, 7 court, and I get all the mess from the tree, moss, twigs, branches, leaves, etc. Great. They were time clearing up, especially later, so no direct view. Like me is happy this plan of action to take place, the only other. Okay. We have no. It's there. When we edit down country plan tree reservation. It's great news.
Unless they've got a standard letter that they've all decided to sign.
No, no, it's the same one.
Ah.
It's been doubled up.
Okay.
No objections. The tree being felled, the tree is situated in our backyard. And it prevents plants and the grass growing in our garden. So have had several neighbours come to us about the tree due to the effect it's having on their lives. Concerns about the damage of the tree roots are causing the public path that runs along the back of the property. Yeah, the path is getting worse and worse.
Health and safety.
Like it's
Yeah.
right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the next one. Station does need to found the enforcement tree which is protected. The law under the tree reservation order is the rear of my dwelling at number 6 court. I strongly object to this application. There is no evidence to support the application's claims for an independent judgment by a suitably qualified agriculturalist who has the skills and expertise to provide such advice. There is no visible evidence to support the applicant's claim. Indeed, regarding this is a healthy, mature horse nursery. The only thing I would like to add in one of the when Marcy used to chair the planning meeting, that if there was ever a tree that needed felling or any works done, and there was unsure amongst residents wherever it is, we would always request a what would be the tree, tree specialist.
There's a tree specialist.
Because there doesn't seem to be a tree report on that. So
Yeah.
that might be quite a good thing to add to this application. So instead of objecting or supporting, we had comments to say we'd like a tree special report done prior to making answer.
I think also to balance out and have tree specialists who talk about the health of the tree, really, but also have somebody to look at that pavement because it's a public footpath. And if the path is raised so much that it actually becomes a safety hazard, then the council could be in trouble if there's any accidents. So we have to make sure that because that's a big tree and those roots are like that path.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think balance up both sides.
Yeah, okay, so getting Phil to comment to get a tree specialist report done. We'd also get the path looked at by Somerset Council, because I guess that's who owns the path.
Yeah, okay.
And to give a, still report also on the reports of, some residents saying that this path has been damaged by the roots. So maybe in conjunction with them both working together, we can get an outcome there. That sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that cool, with the response? Yeah. Okay, so could I get a proposal then, please? Councillor Sackford, could I get a seconder? Councillor Furman, can we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Very much. Is there any other items? Yeah. Okay, that's the end of the meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.
7:10.
I'll see.
That's
Councillor
the
should have just
second quick
stayed.
step.
Although we did say that, in all fairness, it's, yeah.